And for anybody watching at home, we are here. I am Lauren Thomas, the Director of Curriculum Instruction Assessment. This is Mrs. Trombetta, our Supervisor of Mathematics. We are here to talk about our technology, educational technology platforms that we're using and why we're using them. So we'll go right into it. Here's tonight's agenda. We're going to go over, as I mentioned, IXL that we're using for diagnostic assessments, how to access those applications through Clever, Google Classroom, Guardian Access, and also our personal devices and our network access. So IXL, if you are not familiar with IXL, we are utilizing it here in district as a diagnostic tool. IXL gives us a lot of great data because it assesses the students in ELA. We are using a mathematics component, and it gives us information on the student's level. So on grade level, below grade level, above grade level. And from that information, it'll put students on a direct personalized learning plan, which they're going to work on in class, and they can also work on at home. So the diagnostic, we are actually going through the process now. Mrs. Utel has already begun the diagnostic in her building, and I know we're getting going in Kiel very soon, and also PRM I'm sure has begun. But the IXL diagnostic, it will walk students through question by question, and it will track the students as they answer the questions. The next question after that will be based on their answer from previous. So if they are answering questions correctly, then it will get increasingly more difficult, so to maintain the student's achievement level. If they're not answering a question correctly, it will provide them with some remediation, so a step-by-step example. And parents, you'll see this too, when your student is working on IXL at home, it can also give them a video, and it will give them an example of how to solve the problem if they get stuck. So it helps them along the way so that you're not worried about having to know how to solve that problem. IXL has built-in interventions right there. So our implementation for this year, just as I mentioned, it is for our diagnostic assessments, just to gather information on their learning levels, and it will, as I said, give them a personalized learning plan with recommendations from the teacher. It will provide recommendations from the program itself, and it's just meant to continue enhancing those skills that have come up in maybe weaker areas than others, so that the hope is that they do progress and are on grade level, on meeting standards across the board. So we will be utilizing the diagnostic in grades K through 8 for ELA in mathematics up through grade 5. And then we will use the mathematics piece for intervention services in the middle school as well. The diagnostic snapshot window, we're going to do the diagnostics 3 times a year. So it'll be a beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. And the important thing with the diagnostics is that we provide enough instruction time in between the diagnostics. So we want at least 12 to 16 weeks worth of instruction before we give the next diagnostic. And again, like as I said, the reports will show you on, above, or below grade level, and the action plans, which we're going to show you in a couple of slides so you can see what it looks like at home. Signing in as a parent will show you what that action plan looks like. So when they visit the diagnostic arena, they will answer questions so that their level is constantly up to date. So not only are they taking the beginning, middle, and end of the year diagnostics, they're taking real-time diagnostics every week so that they're constantly maintaining on grade level skills and standards that they need to work on. That should only take about 10 to 15 minutes per week, which we have spoken with the teachers, we're working with the teams. That way we can infuse those 10 to 15 minutes very easily within the school day. There's plenty of time where we can incorporate that in, and then any skills assigned by the teacher or through the program, that can also be done as homework assignments as well. So what does the diagnostic score mean? So parents, when you view IXL, and we're going to show you in just a minute, After they take the diagnostic, you'll see a score. So this just represents what the score means. How are you interpreting it? So for example, if you see a level of a 400, that means a student is ready for fourth grade skills. A level of 450 represents that the student has obtained about 50% of the fourth grade curriculum. So typically we see those numbers more towards your mid-year diagnostics. If they're a fourth grade student and they're hitting a 400, then they're right on target to where they should be, the beginning of fourth grade. Okay, student levels appear as a range of numbers when the real-time diagnostic doesn't have the complete data yet. So as the students answer the questions, that range will shrink. And then once the diagnostic has enough information, it will pinpoint levels to a single number. So this is the student view, which is, we were able to take screenshots. So when your student signs in, they'll see 3 tabs along the top. What should I work on? And that's anything that the teacher can go in and assign to the student so they can work on those tasks. There are recent skills that the student has worked on, and then there are recommendations. So now typically those recommendations will come from the assessment, anything that the student needs to spend a little more time on, needs to increase their mastery on. Those are going to be those recommendations, and those take you directly to skills right on this program that the student can begin working on. With IXL, we really like this program, and we think it's just a great tool for students to gain a little ownership, have a sense of responsibility. It gives them awards as they go through and answer questions. As they master skills, they're rewarded for it. So they enjoy seeing the stickers and the awards that they get through the program. And it tells them how many minutes they've spent on it. It tells them how many skills they've mastered. So I think it gives them a great sense of accomplishment and success, which is always great for any student, no matter what age you are. So for parents, when you go into IXL, we're going to show you in a minute because it goes through Clever. So we're going to show you on the slide how you would access that. But you would go in as your student, and on the top we circled for you the Analytics tab. That's going to show the parent the diagnostic score, and it will also show you the student's action plan. And I'll show you right here so you can see. Give us a second. Put it on Google Meet. All right, good. So this is an example of a student's diagnostic plan. It may be a little tough to see from that. But basically, this is a third grade student who took the diagnostic. This is in the area of math. So they're placing right at 300, which is right where they should be, beginning of the year, third grade. And then when they take the diagnostic, they break it down into various components. So you're not just getting an overall math score. It breaks it down into numbers and operations, algebra and algebraic thinking. So you can see exactly which components the student has achieved, maybe needs more challenging work on, or where they need to grow. So these are all linkable as well. So if I go to number and operations, there are recommended skills, and this is a PDF, so it's not gonna take you directly there, but when you're in your student's page, you can link right on those set of skills, and it'll take you to the practice areas that they need to work on. So this program, it's very user-friendly, very easy for students to navigate, very easy for parents to be able to understand, look at these scores and understand what they mean, and be able to help their student guide through those skills that they need to work on. So that's that view. And anybody, I know we have a couple parents on our Google Meet joining. Feel free, if anybody has any questions along the way, please just let us know, and I'm happy to stop and answer those questions. So as I mentioned, Clever, this is the system we use in order for students to sign in. This is what you would utilize at home in order to access your students' applications on their computer. So I'm going to let Mrs. Trombetta take over and go into Clever, among other things.
So the Clever Portal, it's a really beautiful thing. It allows our students to access a personalized portal, and it's a single sign-on, so they use their student Gmail account, their Kinnelon.org account, and when you log in, they have access to all of the applications that we have subscriptions to as a district. So we've linked that portal URL here, and you'll select login with Google, type in their district username and password, which for all students it follows the same format. It's their last name, first initial at students.kinnelon.org, and their student ID is their password. For our younger students, we actually were able to download QR code badges, and you could use the camera and have the students log in with holding that up to the camera, so that it simplifies the login process for them over at Kiel. And then once you're in, you'll see iExcel, their math book, all of the platforms that they have access to. You'll see them all there in one spot. So this is just a snapshot of, this is a third grader, their typical Clever Portal, what it looks like. So you'll see they have access to iExcel, and that's how you can access it as a parent with them if you're looking for that analytics tab. McGraw-Hill, that's our everyday math book. There's a direct link to Google Classroom, and then as the teachers, as we start using more applications, those will be linked here. They also have access to their library catalog as well. Google Classroom. So this year we're utilizing Google Classroom as our learning management system. So this has been a shift from Encore's Classroom, and we're using it as our main system. We're going to continue to post grades for grades 6 through 12 in the Encore's portal through Gradebook, so you can toggle between those two things. At K to 5 level, the students will have access to a homeroom classroom in Google Classroom, and then they'll have access to classrooms for their special areas. And then grades 6 through 12, you'll see when you log into Google Classroom, the students will have all of their courses in their schedule available to them through Google Classroom. Guardian summary. So Google Classroom functions a little differently than what you're accustomed to with Encore's Classroom. You'll be added as a guardian in Google Classroom, and what that does is you'll get an email notification, and that will allow you to choose how frequent you want to be notified, and it'll alert you to when there's assignments are due, if the assignment's been missed, so you can choose the frequency of those emails, and as a guardian, you will, so you won't be able to be directly in the classroom, but what we've done is we've added this sheet here so that you can access and download it on your phone. So for younger students, you can have the application on your phone, and you can see the assignments directly and get notifications and see what the actual content of the assignment is. And the last thing we wanted to just talk about is student personal devices and the network. That applies more to our upper grades. So this year, because the district provides Chromebook devices and we can only manage security and applications on those devices, student-owned computers and tablets are not allowed on the district's network. So that was a shift this summer. Policy was revised. And this really just allows our teachers to better utilize classroom management software. So we have GoGuardian, and it's just an easy way for us to manage all the applications that we have and to promote better student focus in those applications during instructional time. So because of that shift, students no longer can connect all personal devices, which we know was an issue. So we've worked out a couple of new networks so that students can access their phones at certain times throughout the day. So at KHS and PRM, there's going to be open access to an after-school guest network for students to connect their phones, and it'll be available after school and on weekends. And then at KHS, we're also going to have a student lunch network, so that is up and running, it's working, it's been tested, and that's available to the students from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. so that they can use their personal devices on the network. And at any time, we've been telling the students this consistently, if they ever need to make a call home or you need to contact your student, they can certainly use, regular means of, you can use our landline phones here, so at any time if your child needs to communicate home, they're able to do that. So at this time, we'll take any questions from those of you that are on Google Meet. That's here.
Hi, everybody. If there's anything that you want me to go back to, just let me know. I know some of you signed in a little after the fact, so if there's anything you want me to go back to, I'd be happy to. And we'll make sure that we post this presentation online because there was a lot of information on the slide, so parents can always go back to it and view it if you need to. And again, reach out to me or Mrs. Trombetta if you have any questions regarding any of the applications discussed or how to navigate them from home. We're happy to help. You can reach out to us at any time. Thank you all.